find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Does this sound okay? Am I too loud? Yeah.
You're a little too loud, yeah.
Now?
Perfection.
Okay, cool.
You are my perfect dove!
That's too much.
Every time I see you, it's like a ray of sunshine from the sky, like God is kissing the world again.
It's not like dead dove, do not eat.
Yeah, no, maybe. No, that's me. You're a beautiful dove, like flying from the ark, whatever, and I'm that dove in that bag.
No.
Dead dove, do not eat. I don't know what I expected. It's when I show up anywhere. They're like, I don't know what I expected.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I know what to tell you.
In olden days, a glimpse of femur was only for morbid dreamers, but you're not alone. Bring anything bones. Two goofy gals with deathly interest go on a skeleton inquest in your headphones. Anything bones.
Hello and welcome to Anything Bones. I'm Sophie Ribs Schwartz.
And I'm Katelyn, kill him with quicksand heart.
I love that. A very Indiana Jones-esque flair.
I don't know why I'm killing someone right off the bat, but welcome to Anything Bones, the podcast where we talk about bones and bone-related topics.
Yes, and we've got more bone-related topics than normal today because it is a Bone-anza.
I think there's some special music that should play here.
Oh, here? Bone-anza.
Thank you. Bone-anza. Thank you.
Bone-anza.
Count it. Bone-anza. Thank you. We're having a bonanza.
Bone-anza.
Thank you. Thank you. Count it. Count it.
Bonanza. Bonanza.
Bonanza. Bonanza.
So, the long-awaited return of the Bonanza is here. The last one we did, I believe, was with the boys, Nick and Darren.
Yeah, and it was technically clandestine, is what we called it. Part 1 and Part 2. But we took a little break from Bonanzas after that. But now, we're here now.
Not intentionally.
No,
yeah.
It just, we got interested in other things, and we forgot about our format.
We forgot we had a format.
Yeah.
But when Katelyn asked me, we were brainstorming, we were like, what should the Bonanza be about? Because we promised a Bonanza, and we're nothing if not true to our word, right, Katelyn?
Scout's honor.
So I was like, damn, I may or may not have been collecting some topics. I asked Katelyn, I said, what would you think of doing death-related art? And Katelyn was like, hell yeah. And I was like, you've fallen into my trap.
It was a trap that you took me by the hand and led me to, I would say.
And by a trap, it was more like a picnic. I just already had topics in mind.
Yeah, it was a pre-cooked Papa John's pizza.
Exactly, it was a take and bake of a topic.
That was so stupid. What a dumb analogy.
Never call yourself stupid on this podcast, or I'll shimmy on over to that house of yours and kick your ass. So the piece of art that I was thinking of is this one that I'll send you right now that will of course be posted. There's going to be a couple of visuals to this episode, so I highly recommend either heading over to our website or to the Instagram where these will be posted.
Yeah, I put them on Facebook too if you like that.
Oh yeah, Facebook. So what are you looking at, Toon Hoon?
I'm looking at what looks like an obelisk in a cemetery, and it says, "Here lie the secrets of the visitors of Greenwood Cemetery." Oh, and there's a little slit in the side. Can you put letters in it or something?
Hell yeah, you can, Katelyn. You're supposed to, in fact.
I love that.
Yeah, this is a work of art. It is not actually a headstone. It is a work of art by internationally renowned French conceptual artist Sophie Katelyn. And I wish that you always refer to me as the international French conceptual artist.
Okay, sure, yeah. We can't shorten that, definitely.
No, never. So this is in Greenwood Cemetery, and it debuted on April 29th and 30th of 2017, and it's a 25-year-long installment, so hopefully you and I will have some time to get there.
So this is Greenwood, Seattle?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think this is in New York, but it is basically the purpose of it is for people to come and write a secret and then to put it into this obelisk, which then will fall down into a vault, much like a burial vault. And then every so often the artist comes and she takes the secrets and she cremates them in like a ritualistic kind of fire. And she said that it was kind of inspired by an ex-lover of hers, like sharing an incredibly kind of damning secret about himself while they were breaking up. And she was like, wow, like, even though we're currently falling out of love, this is like the most intimate thing you've ever done. So like, it kind of inspired this place for people to put those types of secrets. So I couldn't get that image out of my head of being able to put something in that obelisk.
Yeah, that's very cool. I would like to do that. I'll start thinking about what I want to put on my piece of paper that's bound for the crematorium.
Yeah, I wouldn't ask you to reveal it here.
No, that wouldn't make sense. That would defeat the whole purpose of it, wouldn't it?
It would, it really would. But that is kind of my inspiration for this Bone-anza.
Yeah, I love it. Art inspired by death, inspired by art.
Exactly.
Or is it the other way around? I don't know.
I don't know. Life imitates art, and so does death.
Sure.
So I'll start off the Bone-anza proper. So I wanted to start off with kind of going in almost a completely different direction from that first piece I showed you. I'll show you another piece here. And this is definitely something that does not immediately strike me as death-related art.
Yeah. What is this? It looks like a very large bath mat.
Kind of.
Like,
it's very
wooden
textured.
Bath mat? I don't know. That's probably disrespectful, but I can't figure out how else to describe it.
Oh, I can't wait to tell you what it really is. But first, my sources are an article from The Guardian and one from publicdelivery.org. So what this is actually is 90 tons of steel reinforcing bars that were destroyed and mangled during the 2008 Sichuan earthquake. And these make up the components of this art, which is called Straight, and it's by a Chinese artist named Ai Weiwei. And these rods are important because the rebar that's used in this is actually from the schools that collapsed during this earthquake and killed about 5,000 school children.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And this piece of art is to bring to light all of the problems with the constructions of these schools, which were on fault lines, and the Chinese government knew that. And they still built them shoddily. And these children died because of this failure of infrastructure. And this artist and his team collected this rebar and re-straightened it out by hand, piece by piece, to make what is actually a model of the fault line that caused the earthquake.
Oh,
that's
fuck.
why it looks like that textured look to it.
That's really powerful when you hear what it is. It's just like, oh, fuck you guys for not taking care of these babies.
Yeah, and this art is extremely powerful, and it even caused his imprisonment for a time because he's an artist who's extremely vocal against the Chinese government and the way they fail their people. And so I just thought this piece of art was incredibly powerful. There is a quote from a curator of a British museum that this was installed in, and this co-curator is named Adrian Locke, and about the piece he says, quote, "Aside from the technical challenge, it is very somber and sobering work when you see it. It has the kind of power and silence about it. it bears a real sense of loss of life.
Yeah.
And it's huge.
It looked like
it takes up an entire room.
Yeah, it looked like it. With the person next to it, you could tell it was enormous. Powerful stuff.
Yeah, so a piece of art that is made of and reflects a mass death event.
Bone-anza.
Bone-anza. Hey, art can be heavy, man.
Hey, art is heavy sometimes, you guys, okay?
Sometimes it is literally 90 tons.
Literally. So I'm going to take us now to Durango, Mexico. And I do not speak Spanish, so I really think I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. This is the Panteon de Oriente Cemetery that I'm going to take you to, where there is some very famous funerary art.
Oh, we love funerary art.
Do we now?
Of course we fucking do.
Obviously. That's why would I even ask? That was kind of rhetorical. So this cemetery is still functioning as like an active cemetery today, but it is also a cultural museum because it has hundreds of these amazing tombs that were created by quarry master Benigo Montoya between 1898 and 1929. And my source for this was an article from Atlas Obscura.
A fave.
An instant fave. So there are over 300 like monuments and tombstones and chapels that were built by this guy Montoya, and everything is different. He's most recognized for the angels that he sculpted because he made them look like the people that were buried beneath them, apparently, which is very cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I think that's just like a nice touch. And allegedly, he never had any formal education as an artist.
Wow, it just lived in him.
He's
just like, I gotta fucking sculpt.
Yeah,
man.
this was his calling. So, of course, I have 4 pictures to send you right off the bat.
Hell yeah.
So we'll just go for all of them at once so we don't hold this up.
This might have to be a couple of Instagram posts.
Yeah, it will be. Okay.
Incoming.
So what I've sent to you first, what drew me in immediately, because what you're looking at here is the baby angel. Simply.
Look at this baby. Look at the baby.
This is the like cover photo on the article, and immediately I was like, I'm in. I'm completely in. This baby angel has me by the balls.
I'm fucking sold on this baby angel because I'm bought in personally because yes, it looks like a baby, but it also does have a little bit of a case of old man face.
Yeah, a tiny
like,
bit. If you zoom right in, you're like, this could be...
The worries of the world are within the eyes of this baby angel.
This could be 80 or 2. I don't know the difference with this baby angel.
It's a Benjamin Button.
Yeah.
It's a Benjamin Button.
Yeah. Next is one of his angels, which I just can't believe that he had no training, because this angel is just like so detailed. It looks like he could just like wake up and look at you.
This one that's kind of like looks like he's deep in thought.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of arms crossed, one hand on the chin.
He really does evoke the, what is he thinking?
Yeah, I don't know.
But super lifelike, especially the hair. He's got beautiful curly hair, this angel.
So the next one you'll see is of a woman kneeling in front of a cross with Jesus on it.
Whoa, speaking of the hair being super realistic, this hair is crazy realistic. This really does look, the hair and the dress really sell it for me that, like, if you were walking around in the dark, that would scare the shit out of me.
Oh, completely.
Think that was a real lady.
Exactly. I would think she was going to turn around and go, shush! What are you doing?
Shut the fuck up! Get the fuck out! Okay.
I'm sorry.
Lo siento.
Yeah. And then the last picture I sent is of one of the family chapels that is located inside the cemetery, which is just like the texture of it is so detailed. It's so grand. I don't know. It's very cool.
I love this. It looks like kind of almost a mini Notre Dame, like inside this cemetery. And yeah, the cross hatching, I don't know. We're not architecture people, but it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
It's art.
Yeah, super intricate. It's death. Now this is fucking death art.
This right here is art about death on top of death. Because it's in a cemetery.
Death all the way down.
Yeah, death through and through. So the family chapels, like the one that we saw, take up a pretty good portion of the cemetery, but there's also apparently, just fun fact, there's a section dedicated to American and British settlers who came to Mexico looking for gold and silver mines.
Okay. That's nice of them.
Yeah. Other fun fact, apparently on the Day of the Dead and certain special occasions, the cemetery, quote, makes one of the 40 mummies discovered on the grounds available for the public to see. And that's all they say about it.
What?
I need more information, but it's a Bone-anza. I didn't have the time or the strength.
Yeah.
But I honestly might revisit this one because it seems like there's more to it than this. This is just like a brief overview, it seems like, of this place.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely something to look more into.
Yes. Last thing I'll say, and why really summing up why I chose this. In 2002, they turned a part of the cemetery into a museum of funerary art by Benigo Montoya because of this amazing accomplishment. The only other thing I'll leave you on is a somewhat sad note. Benigo Montoya himself, his own tombstone, didn't have like anything ornate on it. It was very plain. And I was like, wait.
That's kind of a bummer.
That's such a bummer.
Oh, that makes me sad. Like, can we get another sculptor down there to
Somebody
like gussy
needs
it
to
up a
do
little
it.
bit?
Yeah, because his work was amazing. He needs, I don't know what it looks like. I didn't see a picture of it, but
I mean, unless that's his wishes, unless his wishes was like, hey, give me the basics. Unless that was his written wishes, so I am doing a call to action to any sculptors listening to get your butt down there and do this man justice.
Please help us out.
Help us out. All right, Katelyn.
Yes.
I would like to invite you into a Bone-anza within a Bone-anza.
What?
Bone-anza within a Bone-anza, a topic that can be broken down into several smaller topics. So I want to talk just very briefly about art that kills.
I love it. I mean, I don't know that I would love it personally, but the concept is very interesting.
Yeah, when we were talking about death art, after I had gotten my jollies off with all the somber pieces of art, which one may come after this, I was like, hey, has art killed anyone? And the short answer is yes. Either through the ideas that they presented in their art got them killed, dangerous artistic materials, and sometimes the literal art itself did the killing.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So I have 3 kind of brief instances of art that kills. It will kill, as Doug Marcaida would say.
For anybody that's not, go to Netflix and watch Forged in Fire if you like knives, or even if you don't. That's all.
Yes. Right off the top, my sources for this are an article from hypoallergenic.com and Vice. So the first piece of art that kills that we're going to be talking about is Richard Sierra's sculpture number 3. Now, this was erected in the 1970s, and it was installed at the Walker Art Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it was formed from 2 5-ton steel plates balanced against each other, which was kind of almost to mimic another piece of art that he had done. And to show you how precarious this art was, I will send you right now kind of a mini version, kind of something that was almost a little bit based on. And I want you to tell me how stable this thing looks to you.
Oh no. This is a box made of a bunch of steel sides that are not, no, I wouldn't sit in or on this.
No, the sides don't really connect. They're connected at a very, precarious angle. It's basically 4 pieces of steel that make a box that are connected in a precarious way. As I'm insinuating through this, This obviously became a problem when the installation broke and ended up trapping a man named Richard Johnson underneath one of these large plates, and he was killed.
Shit. That's not even, like, no, that didn't need to be seen.
No.
That steel box.
No, and his wife did end up filing a lawsuit against the artist and the museum and the fabricators for wrongful death. And they figured out that the safety slots that held the steel plates in place were, like, not built correctly. And, like, they cut a lot of corners when constructing the piece of art. So it was more of the blame fell to the fabricators than the artist himself.
Sure.
But if I was the artist, I would still feel fucking terrible.
If I was even slightly involved in this, I would feel like garbage.
Yes, exactly. Are you ready for another piece of art that kills?
Yes.
So the next piece of art that we're talking about is Christo and Jean-Claude's The Umbrellas Joint Point Project for Japan and the USA. This was a project that was conceptualized in 1984 but wasn't built until the 1990s, and it was composed of a couple hundred 6-foot-tall, 485-pound umbrellas that were put along the coast of California and Japan. And it was supposed to symbolize, like, the interconnectivity of the two different places, you know, international brotherhood and such.
It sounds like a good idea, but I know it's going to end badly for somebody.
Yes. Unfortunately, all good intentions aside, one of the joints that was holding one of these giant umbrellas, the umbrella came loose from the joint and ended up pinning a woman in California named Lori Keyville Matthews against a boulder and crushed her to death.
Oh my god. That's awful.
Yeah. After the tragedy, the artists actually attended her funeral as a sign of respect and called for the whole thing to be dismantled.
Yeah.
But during the dismantling
of
this art project, yes, on the Japanese side, a man was electrocuted when the arm of his crane hit a power line. So this piece of art took out 2 people.
That is so fucked.
Yeah. And it was just supposed to be something peaceful about,
it
was people on 2 different sides of the ocean.
Lovely, lovely intentions. Oh my god, horrifying.
The last one is, we're going to be talking about sculptors again. In December of 2015, the 62-year-old Michael Gallagher was charged with killing his mother with a statue of himself.
Oh, okay. Okay, guy. There is some symbolism there. Wow.
That's all I looked into that case, but as soon as I saw that someone had killed someone else with a statue of themselves, I was like, you killed them with you.
Yeah.
The murder weapon was you in more ways than one.
Yeah, it's just, like, really meta and really, like, painful to think about.
Yeah. I mean, this is an unfortunate detail, but he did use other things other than the statue, but the statue was involved.
Yeah. Why do you have a statue of yourself also?
I don't know, because he loved looking at himself in miniature.
Ugh.
Well, that concludes my mini bonanza within a bonanza.
Art that kills.
Art that kills.
Don't name your band that.
And if you do name your band that, don't tell us.
Yeah.
And don't give us free t-shirts of your band.
I don't want it. Listen to this ad, you knuckleheads.
Yeah, you knuckleheads.
Hey everyone, my name is Eddie, producer, legend, and host of My Crunchy podcast over on the Podmoth Media Network. If you're looking for something chaotic, somewhat messy, and very incomprehensible, then go stream My Crunchy podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So stop searching and start listening to all your new faves from the Podmoth Media Network team now.
And welcome back to this Bone-anza about, you guessed it, art.
Bow.
I'm your host, Katelyn. No.
Drive live in the morning. Skip the grind with Katelyn Live.
I love to talk like I have a radio show. Yeah.
Hey, you're playing hits from the 80s, 90s, and today.
What about the
which
2000s?
is a little outdated. Well, that was a radio commercial I used to hear in the 2000s.
Well, shit. That explains it.
That's why it's a little outdated.
Alrighty. Well, so I've got the next Bone-anza. And I want to start my second topic by saying that my next two topics were inspired by a particular article from a cremation company called Solace Cares, I'm not sure. But their article was called 8 Things You Can Do with Cremation Ashes.
We love that.
Yeah, we love that. And I was fully intrigued. So based off a couple of the things that were on that list, I did a little more of a deep dive on those. I looked at an article from openculture.com and then one from Mental Floss about a new company called And Vinally, which is a company based in the UK, founded in 2009 by Jason Leach, and they will take ashes and put them into a vinyl record.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's so cool. I have never heard of that.
No, I'd never heard of this either, so I thought, hell yeah. I mean, this one, it's a little bit on the edge, but music is art, so I figured this counts.
Music is definitely art. Yeah.
And I was fascinated by this, and the next one, too. So this guy, Jason Leach, who started the company, started it for fun, basically, or like a side hustle. And then it became full-time work for him because he's just so busy. And
that's amazing.
Yeah,
fucking
people love
good for
it.
him.
So I saw one of these records because in both of my sources, which you can find on our website, there was a link to this little documentary. It's like 10 minutes long about Jason. And then it's also about a customer's experience with sending in his mother's ashes and then getting a record. So I highly recommend that video. Just if you want to know more about this, because I was like, this is so cool. And how have I never heard of this?
Yeah. Warning, I am tearing up just with your description of that. So it sounds like might be a tearjerker.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. It's sad. Death is sad.
Whoa, what?
Did you know? So the record is clear and you can see the ashes kind of in the middle of it.
Oh.
And it does affect the sound quality of the record. Like it makes little squeaks and pops and stuff, but most people don't mind very much because it's just so cool.
And it's unique.
Yeah, super unique. So the most basic package at this company is going to cost you about $4,000, but you do get 30 copies of your record.
Oh shit, that's a great deal.
Yeah, and each record has a little bit of the ashes in it. You can't use copyright protected music, which kind of obviously, but also, I don't know, if you wanted to put their favorite song on there, you'd have to go back a long ways, over 100 years, to get that for free.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will put a recording of the person on there, or you can just put pretty much anything other than stuff that's copyrighted.
Yeah, that's really sweet to have it be the recording of the person.
Yeah, that's what the son in the video I talked about did, and it's really sweet.
Aww.
So, of course, if you don't want, if you don't have a recording of the person or you don't really know what to put, you can hire musicians through the company who will make songs for the record. Each one costs about $650, and you do need to fill 24 minutes of time because there are 12 minutes per side of the record. So it's going to cost you, but if you're not feeling creative, they got you.
That's amazing. I mean, funerals and like burial, as we've covered on this show many times, is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
At $4,000 at least.
Right. So
Like,
this is kind of another way to go. Rather than doing a funeral, you could give your 30 closest friends and family a little piece of you.
Yeah, and maybe some cool musicians will write a custom song for your
It's entirely possible.
For your Eternity album. That's so cool.
It keeps getting cooler, honestly. So you can also upgrade to getting like a portrait done by James Haig, who is a National Portrait Gallery artist. That is about $4,600. You can also have...
I mean, that makes sense.
The company will also do a funeral. Like, it's spelled like funeral, but fun is capitalized.
Of course it is.
Yeah. That's about $13,000. And then it doesn't say how much it is, but you can put... It's probably just the same price. You can put pet ashes in the records if you want.
Yeah, I would hope that would be the same price.
This feature is interesting. You can have the record, quote, distributed to reputable vinyl stores worldwide if part of the preferred legacy means traveling the world and maybe going home with some strangers.
Wow. Okay. That would be nuts.
I know. I want
we've
one.
talked about the teddy bear, in the ashes, with the ashes in it. This is that on a whole nother level.
Can you imagine finding one of those, like, in a record shop? What would you do?
I mean, me personally, I would be like, this is really cool, and if it's here, they wanted it to be here, so I'm gonna take this home and honor it. If I was a normal person, I might get a little freaked out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to end on a quote from Jason Leach, the guy who started the company. He is a musician and a collector of vinyl in his own life, and he speaks very profoundly about the power of like sound and memories that it can trigger. Quote, "Sound is vibrating you, the room, and it's actually moving the air around you. And that's what's so powerful about hearing someone's voice on a record. They're actually moving the air. And for me, that's powerful." And then, the squeaks and pops that I talked about at the beginning. When the record hits the ash, it kind of makes a little sound, but people don't really mind because that's their person making a little popping noise.
Yeah.
I got you. Got
you
him.
Fucking got me. Got him.
I'm sorry. I really wanted to share this story because it's just so cool.
It's very cool, and that's very meaningful. I love that the physical addition of the ashes affects the music and becomes part of the music or the recording or, what have you. Yeah, that really got me, and especially just the plain-ass physics of it, that, you can move people, literally move them after your death.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. That's very cool, Katelyn.
Yeah.
All right. My last Bone-anza.
Hit me with it.
So, again, going back to pieces that kind of inspired this, kind of bookending it, my Bone-anza topics with things that have stuck with me for a long time. Because this has stuck with me, and I'm pretty sure I have maybe already told you about this, Katelyn, because it just felt very meaningful to me. My sources for this were The Collector and publicdelivery.org. So I want to talk about the artwork that is called Portrait of Ross in LA Untitled. And I will just send this to you right now. So this is a portrait, despite how it looks. Katelyn, do you want to give a little description?
Well, it really looks like a pile of candy in the corner of a room.
That is what it is.
Okay.
So this is by the artist Felix Gonzalez Torres, and he is Cuban, and he was born in 1957, and he moved to New York in the 1970s and got his master's degree in fine art, and that's where he met one of his lifelong partners, Ross Laycock, and Ross would become his boyfriend and played a really big role in his artwork. This is a portrait because it doesn't depict the person's face, but it actually depicts Ross's weight, because Ross had HIV and eventually AIDS. and that is how he ended up passing away. And what the work of art is that is a pile of candy, which the ideal weight of is 175 pounds, which is what Ross weighed before he went through his illness. And as people are invited to take pieces of candy from the installation, the weight grows smaller and smaller, like you would if you were dying, from this disease. And the candy represents a person who is very colorful and full of life, and, the sweetness of love and loving someone, and how with death, bit by bit, that's taken away until there's nothing. It's also a very interesting piece because it also makes kind of a broader statement about the AIDS crisis and how the public was kind of ignoring this, or it wasn't brought to light fast enough or with enough care to stop the deaths of so many people that were just young queer people who were colorful and full of life and love. And, as people take the candy, as they continue to ignore this disease, which is still a prevalent problem today, they are, complicit in this death almost. And the candy, when the installation is in, progress, the candy is like refilled up to like 20 or 30 pounds a day. People are taking bits of candy. But this pile of candy just stuck with me.
Yeah, it's very, God, it's sad, but it's beautiful. And I was going to ask, is it still going on? Because that seems like it would be a really difficult thing to sustain if they're doing 20, 30 pounds of candy a day, but that's powerful.
Yeah, it's not going on anymore, but it did require a lot of maintenance. Like you were saying, you had to refill the candy, and they would actually take care to make sure that it was colorful. They would make sure to balance the colors, add more red or green or whatever to keep it looking that way. But yeah, just, that one got me when I first saw it, when I realized what it was and that it was so interactive.
Yeah, very interactive, but really sad. And also, I'm getting free candy, and also the AIDS crisis is horrifying, and it was a terrible time. So there's a lot going on in that story. That's making me think and making me sad.
Yeah, I hope it sticks with everyone the way it stuck with me.
All right, is it time for my last Bone-anza?
It is the final of the show.
Finale. Bone-anza finale.
Finale.
This is coming to you from smartcremation.com.
That's my homepage.
So, like I said, my last two topics were inspired by 8 different kind of unique ways to treat cremated remains. So, did you know that you can get a tattoo with a little bit of cremains in it?
I did not know that.
I had no idea, but it's a thing.
That's pretty nuts.
I don't know that it's super popular. I haven't looked into any places where you could get it, but smartcremation.com had some info for us newbies.
Yes, I am new to this concept, please.
So they take a little bit of the cremains and then mix it with regular tattoo ink. Basically, it's the same as getting a tattoo. It's just got a little bit of the ashes in it when they are mixing the ink, I guess.
It's got a little bit of cremains in it.
Usually less than a tablespoon, and it has to be, it has to be pretty, fine. It can't be coarse because they can't jam up the tattue gun.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, in your skin.
In your skin, that's right.
I have a skin question.
Yeah.
If it was too chunky, this is terrible. If it was too chunky, could it cause problems being in your skin? Is a tattoo low enough that it wouldn't be how you can push out stuff that gets stuck in your skin?
Yeah.
Would it push
that's
out?
a good question. I think it would depend on what it is, honestly. If it was a little piece of bone, I think that would maybe cause some problems.
Yeah, God forbid it's a little piece of bone.
I know, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I'll say right now, I don't think I would necessarily want to do this. But if I did, I would consult somebody who is licensed and who has done it before.
Yes.
one of the questions on smartcremations.com that was answered was, is it safe? Which is at the top of everybody's list, hopefully.
That was really at the core of, I think, what I was asking before.
Yes. So they're more concerned about something with the ashes. So they're saying that, the ashes wouldn't have any infection in them because they were cremated at temperatures over 1700 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not the ashes that are the problem. What is the problem is that the ashes and the ink need to be mixed in a sterile environment, I guess.
Okay.
And then there just shouldn't be any contamination of that because that's going to increase your risk of getting an infection, which is probably what would happen if something got stuck under your skin, a chunk. Honestly, you would probably just it would probably get infected now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I feel like, yeah, this is a licensed professional activity only.
Yes, don't try this at home. Don't try this if you're a tattoo artist and you're just yeah, let's give it a go. This is not something you want to just give it a go.
This is not a fuck around and find out.
Not at all. I just thought this was interesting. Smart Cremation did say that the tattoo will probably look and feel the same as a regular tattoo, obviously.
Yeah.
Apparently, some people say that as the tattoo with the cremains in it heals, it can be a little bit itchier than a regular tattoo, which I don't know how you gauge that because I thought that shit when I got my tattoo, I thought it was itchy as fuck. So I don't know how I would know if it was more itchy or less itchy. It just was itchy. That was my problem.
Well, I think you'd use the Ichter scale.
Got him. It's a good thing we're almost done. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
The other thing, and I'm glad you brought out, the skin questions. Obviously, I am a licensed esthetician, believe it or not, but I don't have all the answers. So go to a dermatologist if you are having any concerns about this. Maybe even order of events, go to the dermatologist and be like, hey, I want to do this. And they'd be like, yes or no. And
Is
then
it a good
find
or
an
no?
artist that's going to do it and has done it before. And then be like, yes or no. So 2 steps before you get this done.
A twofold process.
Yeah, I think 2 people it is required.
Gotta sign
a
off
check
on
and balance,
it,
yeah.
Other than that, it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool.
Well, I just thought that was a cool piece of, because a tattoo is art on your body. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. If that's I like I said, I don't know if I would necessarily want to do it, but I would totally understand somebody wanting to. And I think it'd be really, it'd be sad, but it'd be a way to keep them with you all the time. So, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. They're a part of you.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also you can put ashes in necklaces. And one of the other things that was on the list that I was really interested in, they can take ashes and turn them into a diamond and you get a ring from it basically, or a necklace, which, I think would be kind of cool. I don't know why I didn't cover that one. I just picked my top 2, but I thought that was an interesting one as well.
Yeah, I think Kelsey has actually covered that on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's actually very lucky and fortuitous that you didn't.
Hell yeah.
But I'm a big fan of that one. I stand by that one being amazing. Yeah, so many. Thank you for taking us from visual art to tattoos to music. We went all over the place in this Bone-anza.
We did. We like to keep you guessing because art will always keep you guessing.
That's true. Go visit the Instagram to see pictures of all of this art.
Yes. This was a very visually heavy Bone-anza, so get over there. Check out that baby angel for yourself.
Check out the angel whose eyes have seen a million terrors. And thank you so much for listening. Leave us a review if you have the time. 5 stars if you're feeling nasty. And we love you so much.
Yeah. Appreciate your bones. Make sure to take care of yourself, even when times are tough, like they inevitably are.
Yeah. Keep your skull up.
Yeah. Stay strong. We love you. And Bon voyage. Goodbye.
All right, bye.
Thanks for listening to Anything Bones. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Anything Bones Podcast, or email us at anythingbonespodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you to Nick Kruger for our spooky music and Stephen Vetteroff
At Chubby Scrubby on Twitter.
for our jazzy vocals, and thank you to Camilla Franklin
At Camilla Strader on Instagram.
for our beautiful bony artwork. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Hello and welcome to Anything Bones. I'm Sophie Ribbold Schwartz.
Ribbled?
Like ribs, but like ribbled, like oh. It didn't work. I'll do my name again.
Okay. I was like, what's a ribbled?
Hello and welcome to Anything Bones. I'm Sophie Ribs. Nope. God damn it.